And welcome to the Trading Bell. You know, behind us here is data, and a lot of things happen, by the way, and a lot of data is collected of people, especially whenever we have this conversation. I'm just having a conversation about data. And in the house, we have the Data Commissioner, who's also recently just crowned as a senior council member. And we want to just understand from what they just had their annual conference and the latest in the matters of data, what's happening. Welcome to the Trading Bell.
Thank you.
It's good to see you, and congratulations on the latest. I saw you just being crowned as senior council.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, and I'm happy to be here.
Yes. Good. Let me start from what we have just seen. Just January, towards the end of it all, you had a great conference down there in Mombasa. And a lot of corporates that we talk to definitely engage a lot with data, from the banks to everybody else who we host here. But just from the conference, what would be the key takeaways this time around when you look at what you did in your privacy conference? And also, any shifts businesses should take seriously moving forward?
It's interesting that when January is supposed to be a slow month, for us it's a peak.
That's the time you're busy.
Yes, we're busy. Celebrating, of course, the International Privacy Day. Which is celebrated globally after it's against the background of Convention 108. When the world then begins to reflect on what does personal data privacy is. But going straight up to Mombasa, one is the first time we were having it in Mombasa, but also for 3 days. Last year it was 2 days. And on both days, for me, the takeaway in terms of attendance was the interest. On average, we had over 459 people at the conference. Consistently throughout the day. Many times, that is a key takeaway. It shows, for me, what that demonstrates is the need. There's really, people really want to learn. And also perhaps also the topics of discussion, because we discussed AI and data protection, children, which is becoming a very big issue globally, about children and safety online. We also discussed data protection and issues around public interest. We discussed amongst many other topics. So the takeaway, of course, we also discussed elections, many items. The key takeaway for us as an office is we're beginning to see data protection not mature, moving towards maturity. When we reflect back, the first data privacy, there was hardly anything happening in the country. So that's the two. The second one is you're seeing private sector data protection officers come to the conference to learn more. Three, we are seeing the other takeaway was the interest in terms of people exchanging ideas on, if you're a corporate or if you're in government, what does a data protection impact assessment mean? So there were exchanges in terms of what does that look like. So, and of course, to crown it all was the launch of the study on data flows. And we would say it's the idea behind launching that report funded by the European Union and the GIZ was because people have had a lot of discussion around data, but they are not quite able to connect what this means in terms of economy. How does it contribute to the economy? And of course, Kenya in the middle of a negotiation with the European Union on having an adequacy decision. An adequacy decision means that the measures that the European Union, Kenya would be treated as equivalent to a European Union country when it comes to movement of data. And therefore making it easier for even business to set up, whether it's business process outsourcing. What would that mean in terms of opening jobs? So the release of that report helps give insights in terms of what that means. So that is one of the things. And of course, finally, we also launched a documentary about our journey. Many times, just earlier when we were looking at even here at NSC in terms of the growth, it's always good to document where you're coming from. So those are the key issues from the conference.
All right. And the report is available for people
It is available online on the data flows. Yes.
Okay. I get a sense from what is happening right now that there is a strong move by your department, maybe I may call it that, to now move away from not just awareness to stronger enforcement. And I wanted you to just shed some light on that because it sounds scary.
I think the move, it's become more, I would say we give equal focus.
Yeah.
Because as an office, I said, even the last time when I appeared to just speak about our office, it's so significant to balance enforcement and also awareness. So we also do a lot of compliance audit. You'll be surprised in terms of the year. Our projection, you probably find more compliance than enforcement. It's just that that creates prominence. When people, when there's an enforcement notice, people pay attention. We would also want to encourage companies to continue complying, because the issue about compliance, it's better to comply than wait until there is an enforcement notice against your company. So while it might seem like we are moving towards enforcement, it is because it's what is being given prominence. Yes.
All right, I love that. But still on the same, speaking to a CEO, for example, who's watching this conversation, where is the conversation on data protection? Is it at the management level, or has it now moved out of what you've spoken about to the boardroom level in terms of risk awareness?
It has moved to boardroom level, which is where it should have been in the first place. Because then they are the space setters, they are the vision holders, they are the strategy thinkers. So that then when it's given that level of importance, then it transcends to the rest of the organization.
All right. Yes. Quite a big number when I looked at your compensations, 184 plus, I believe, already issued to complainants, and entering into an era where mishandling customer data will carry real financial consequences for companies. What do you see out of this, and what do you deduce out of these compensations?
Well, twofolds. One, trust is not just another cliche word. Trust becomes a centerpiece of how you handle your customer data. And trust then gives you a competitive edge. Because when that's the compensation out there, the amount of money is out there, it's also, what does this mean for your brand? What does it mean for your brand?
What does it mean?
You do not want to be the company that is known to mishandle customers' data. You want, when customers look at you, they know at least we are safe. Yes.
I still want to shed some light. Let's go to the basics, because some people, as you have said, there are people who are now aware, and probably enforcing is still something. And I know we had this conversation last year, earlier on, mishandling data. In the simplest language, what can you tell them? You guys, you're mishandling data. What does it mean?
What it means, and in simple language, it's good. We are behind us is the stocks.
Absolutely.
Many companies, listed or not listed on the stock exchange, have a lot of customer data.
Absolutely.
And many times, a company that is listed on the stock exchange will come. You'll go to them because you want to trade. Imagine a situation where you came to trade and told them this is what they're collecting information for trading, and then they move away. So you are now an investor. They now decide to start marketing with you their products. You know, there's a distinction between those two roles.
You're right.
So when they collected the information, it was about a customer, about an investor, not a customer. So, and then some will argue, no, you didn't read the fine prints, the terms and conditions. But terms and conditions, they are not consent. And I think that is always another issue of misunderstanding, that you clicked on some and condition. It's a condition. Consent is free, it's informed, and it's given freely. Yes.
I have one final question on this conversation as well. Cross-border, And I know we talked at length of how you're collaborating cross-border, but also on some of the corporates that we work and they take our data in the process, outside these borders. So the question would be, are we safe? Have we put enough laws to safeguard Kenyans' data? And maybe a part two of that question is this, do we have enough punitive? When looking at the law, are the measures good enough to deter these guys not to mess around our data? Yeah.
Let me say the fact that cross-border data flows, which is what I've said, in the era of digital trade, it's inevitable.
You're right.
It's inevitable. That is why even you see how the law is crafted.
Yeah.
We didn't anticipate that the company will be based locally. Because when we transact online, and that is the biggest transaction, whether you're done or whether on a platform sharing your wares, whether you want, it's all based online.
Yeah.
A lot of these platforms are not based locally.
Okay.
So why we exist as an office is one to give an overall guideline on what are the do's or what I would call guardrails. And some of the guardrails are what we call principles. So even as you collect people's information, that is what provides a safety. Are you putting in place the necessary principle? Data minimization, transparency and accountability, integrity of the data. Are you collecting it for lawful purpose? Those are the guardrails, and that is what provides safety for the data subject.
Right.
Yes. There was a second part to the question, which
I think it is asking, looking at the laws that we have, would you say Kenya is strong enough now in terms of punitive measures for anyone who messes around the data?
Actually, I think Kenya is lenient. There is a push to see how we push that up higher up.
Okay.
Globally, the penalties are even higher.
I want to get to an example. One of the cases that we saw around Kambai was the wild coin. And we saw a lot of data in the streets, people being taken, their biometrics, stuff like that, and everything else. And from my collections, and you correct me if I'm wrong, we saw them coming, taking biometric data. And I just wanted to ask you, what message does this send to the global technology firms about regulatory seriousness in this market? Because I believe you confirmed deletion of that data, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you rate their regulatory seriousness.
Yeah.
That when you venture into a jurisdiction, please take people's data seriously. It's not a commodity to trade on the stock.
I like that.
It is. It's giving people personal dignity.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? So look beyond. It's not. Let's adhere to the necessary regulatory framework that are there.
Yeah.
And we will see. We are in an era where we are being tested. Both as not just as a nation, but globally, we are seeing emergence of new technology, and they will continue to test the boundaries. In fact, the conversation globally in terms of how best to regulate is for companies to take what we are calling accountability.
All right.
Yeah, and there are many scholars globally who are saying, why don't companies take issues around data protection, cybersecurity as a CSR or public, what we would call corporate social responsibility.
All right.
Just like it's finding the space with ESG or what ESG conversations about climate change, about, all those issues, because nowadays people ask about source when you buy a product, and they say, can we trace back? And was it ethically produced? Because you can't be buying a product, and when you go down the lane, people are abusing labor laws, for instance. It's the same conversation that is beginning to happen around data protection.
Okay.
Globally, can we see companies become much more accountable?
Yeah.
Yes. Because accountability is our ethos, it's our core, it's our values as a company. It gives us more.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk about compliance. From your own perspective, and we have seen the numbers and you've spoken about it, even the conference itself was a witness looking at the interest. How would you gauge compliance so far? Looking at Kenyan companies, are they compliant? Are you happy with the progress?
In some cases, and I will say we see higher compliance in some sectors. I think others are still struggling.
Okay.
Others may still be struggling because it's now the push which has given the office prominence in terms of the enforcement is when people are beginning to ask questions.
Yeah.
So there are those who I would say on a scale of 1 to 10 are almost at 8, and there are those probably at 4, just at a very basic level of just beginning to find out.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. As we come to a close, I want to get personal a little. I still go to these estates or to these offices where they will ask everything about you. And sometimes I don't want to say what I do, but sometimes you're like, oh my goodness. First of all, we look at the old book that they are probably noting it, everything else, and you give them. But you feel, wow, I just felt, after knowing what you taught me in the interview, I just felt like I've just left everything of myself. Going down to those levels, what would you say on that? Because I know Kenyans now, because they're becoming empowered, you're empowering them, they get to know, they will start asking questions. What would you say to them?
That's a question that I'm always asked by the
I know.
what people like to call the book of truth.
Yes.
I think 2 angles to it. Partly, there's a lawful basis for that information to be collected, whether it's at gates when people are asked to identify themselves. Because the truth is, if anything were to happen in terms of emergency, we've seen, you need to know what information about this.
Yeah.
The next question is, then what?
Then what? Yeah.
And what we've done recently as an office is give a guidance in that industry in terms of what they need to look at to make sure they protect people's personal information, they secure it, and they also minimize. You don't ask everything.
Yeah.
You also, when you also minimize, you also need to tell you we are collecting information and what the purpose and for how long it will be stored.
Yeah.
So I think many of those sectors have suffered out of lack of information.
Okay.
And we say my people will perish for lack of knowledge.
I like that.
Yeah.
Just a little bit on your strategic roadmap.
Yeah.
I just want to read a few things because your current roadmap focuses on strengthening governance. You talked about boosting compliance and enhancing institutional capacity.
Yes.
So my question is this: what change or measurable change maybe should investors expect to see in the next few years?
In the next few years, for sure, because we expect to boost our capacity as an organization to enforce, whether directly or in cooperation with others.
Okay.
But that is one of the things they expect to see. 2, we expect to also guide.
Okay.
So that as a way of strengthening compliance, there has been concerns by them companies, especially around data flows from one country to the other. There are concerns of countries that are operating off, for instance, Southern Africa, Eastern Africa, Western Africa, and they have branches. And they're saying, is it possible to get to some sort of measures, adequacy measures between the countries so that it's easy for us to transact.
Yeah.
So in the coming years, those are one of the things we need to guide, whether it's standard, whether it's standard contractual obligation. We will find a way of making sure that it's easier for them to treat.
You're right.
Yeah, in terms of data flow. So, and of course, we'll go bigger in terms of awareness. I often say, the day data protection becomes like a health campaign, because if you tell, for instance, the story around COVID, everyone, you keep this, even if you ask, keep distance, wear mask,
don't be too crowded.
We want that to be the case in data protection.
Okay.
That when people ask for your data, you say, what is it for? And accountability.
Yeah. Immaculate, a lot of the conversations I have on this show has an economic value to it or angle to it. And definitely, someone may assume data and everything else, but I know definitely how this aligns to the economic side of things. In fact, as I was reading somewhere, there's a whole, economic infrastructure around data. And it's not just a regulation. And I wanted to shed some light on it. Of course, remembering that we pride ourselves as the Silicon Savannah. As Kenya, definitely. And, we are a regional tech hub and the likes of that kind of sort. How do you connect all these things so that the relevance of this conversation to the economic side of things, for the ones who only look for that?
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, thank you for that question. The reason why this institution was set up in the first place was the conversation, if people recall, around digital ID. And the issue around digital ID is very central. Digital ID for what we call public digital infrastructure, digital public infrastructure.
Yeah.
Because what is the base? If you're collecting data, even before you start to talk about startups, people can then plug in and grow.
Yeah.
The base of any is actually personal data. And that's why I died, because then it shows who you are. And if you were to do an analytical whatever, it tells you about your age, demographics, age. It's not enough. It will also probably say geographic location. If that's not enough, if you look even at your personal ID, even if you were to translate that to a digital space, it gives a lot of personal information.
You're right.
That information to you and me is just an ID. To somebody who is a data scientist, it is data that makes a lot of sense. If you're in trade, you are able to quickly analyze some of the most intimate issues. What are your deep secrets, for instance?
Yes.
What are your habits? On Friday, where the Shege likes to spend his time. I mean, Shege, you clicked an Uber.
Yes.
Or another travel app.
Yeah.
It tells you from point A. Oh, and behind the scenes, how many did you use? And at what
Where
hour?
did I go? Yeah.
So, and what did you buy online, and which page did you like?
Too much.
So, somebody analyzing that, they can tell your habits.
Yeah.
But even more intimate. It's about your thoughts.
You're right.
Yeah.
My thoughts.
You clicked on political activity. You click on a religion activity. You clicked on if you're in a union activity.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's how important data is.
I have just remembered that I read how even elections nowadays are being influenced by the data, and how in some places, I didn't say here, in some places it has influenced even how the outcomes has been. Now, as we come to a close, when I told persons that I'm coming to speak to the data commissioner, there was a question that was sent our way, and it was about AI, big data, cloud computing, and he said, ask her, how is ODPC preparing to address the risks related to these kind of technologies? So it's always important to listen to people and ask you. So I have asked, I was a messenger. Anything that you can tell them?
For us, in terms of guidance, that is one of the areas that we in the coming year hope to give guidance on how then do you navigate from a data protection perspective. What does this mean for us? Globally, we can't wish it away. It's a reality. I use the same statement I said. We are finding ourselves in an era where somebody is equating AI to electricity, where it probably will be so embedded in our way of life. So the question we might ask, just like the people who invented electricity and had guardrails about the pole, the pole should be so many meters from a house. That's the same thing. As we develop in this area, ethical use of AI is very important for us. Yes.
Would you say that's like the biggest risk any business would dare mess themselves up on by not using it ethically?
I think it exposes all of us as humans.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to think through in terms of ethics.
Immaculate Kassait, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Shege, for having me again.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Always a pleasure having this chat with Immaculate. By the way, data everywhere, we are giving it out. You never know. Even if you're trading right here at the stock market, you had to give all your details so that we can send you your dividends. So you want to be careful as well to ensure that you're landing it in a safe space. The last conversation we had with her is that there should be always a question, are you a registered data processor, right? Excellent, that's the word. So make sure that you are dealing with people who know that your data is something very private and they're dealing with it well enough. Thank you so much for your time. I leave you now with the markets.